pack his lunch.
Rub his feet. Can I get my back scratched?
First of all, you lost me at the rub his feet.
Hey guys, I'm Shamor.
And I'm Lex.
And together we are
More of Lex. And by the grace of God, we're coming to you with another video.
Another one.
Today, we're getting a little controversial, but it's fine because that's what gets the people going. But we came across a video of a comedian named Watch Jazzy who had some very interesting words and ideas on submission. So I'm going to insert a clip of her view of submission, and then we're going to give you our feedback after.
Like, what does a submissive woman do for her man?
Everything.
What does that mean?
You know, like packing his bag, unpacking his bag, just making sure all the things that he wants. And like, I pretty much read his mind. So it's like, if I know you and I study you, like I know how you are in the morning, I know how you are about midday, I know when you're in this mood, what you need. Like, before you can ever ask me for something, I'm already on it. I mean, he's spoiled. And you know, when I talk to my girlfriends about it, I was like, oh, how you guys doing? And I'm just like, girl, he's rotten. I'm like, he's spoiled rotten. Like, he's rotten. But I love that. Like, I want him to be that. I think my biggest flex is how I treat my man. You know what I mean? And my biggest flex should be how I treat myself, which is, so it's kind of fucked up. It's kind of messed.
Okay. So she said some very interesting things. What's your take on it?
My take is, girl, that is not submission. That is servitude. That is slave. That is leaving a bad taste in a lot of women's mouth when it comes to hearing the word submission. That is not submission. Now, don't get me wrong. We can do nice things for our husbands. Oh, that's another thing. She was talking in regards to a boyfriend. Mm-hmm. Honestly, my thought is I'm going to be submissive to a husband. Mm-hmm. I think what lead a lot of women in the wrong direction is they submissive to the wrong man. You're giving a boyfriend wife, attributes and duties, and that's not going to get you wiped up, especially if you stop. Like, say you get tired, you don't feel like packing his bag, you don't feel like scratching his back to sleep. You're doing this for a boyfriend. Guess what? He's going to go ahead and find another little girl who will do it for him because you done spoiled him rotten. This is not submission. And don't get me wrong, like I was saying before, you can do nice things for your boyfriend, husband. You could scratch his back. You could pack his lunch.
You could rub his feet. Can I get my back scratched?
First of all, you lost me at the rub his feet because
I have pretty feet, all right?
Anyway,
I'm just saying, because I get my back scratched. You know, every time I ask my back scratched, it's awesome.
I scratched your back. I just rubbed your back this morning. I just gave you a whole lotion thing. So don't try to come at me like I don't be scratching your back. I be scratching your back. I'm not rubbing them feet.
I got a knot in my back. And
this is okay. Don't take us. Don't. All right.
Back on track.
Back. No, but that is definitely not the definition of what a submissive woman does and what a submissive Christian wife does. But anyway, what's your take?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you in terms of you can't have that type of mentality and, live that kind of lifestyle for a boyfriend. You just can't. It's incompatible. And the reason why I say that is because I remember we did a video on this before, and we were talking about submission and what that looks like.
I'll link it up here.
Yeah, the world has its idea of submission, and I feel like her idea of submission was more on the side of one of the definitions that the world has. Mm-hmm. But within the Christian worldview, we have an entirely different definition, because in order for a woman to be able to submit to a man within the Christian worldview, it has to be a derivative of trust within a marital union. And if there's no marital union, then you're just doing this for a boyfriend. And don't get me wrong, she was saying some good things in the sense of acts of service. Yes, marriage is predicated on acts of service. What marriage represents is representative of the service that Jesus Christ did for us.
But you got to be a man for me to be able to be submitted to.
You can't
like.
you can't just submit to anyone, because what that sounds like is that you're being his mother.
Mm-hmm.
A man doesn't need a woman to be his mother. A man needs a woman to be his helper.
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted, someone, I can pay for that type of service, but I can't pay for someone to submit to me. I can pay for a woman to scratch my back. I can pay for a woman to rub my feet. If I can go out into the world and just pay for that kind of service, then what do I need a wife for? And the thing is, I feel like what she's trying to do is earn the favor of who she's with, so that potentially, he can say, okay, now you're a woman who's worthy of being married,
Mm-hmm.
of getting the ring. When no, there has to be certain things. There has to be an environment that's constructed by the man,
Mm-hmm.
that's predicated upon a biblical worldview and upon biblical values, because God is the one who told us about submission. Wives, submit to your husbands. As husbands, submit to Christ. As Christ submits to God. It's the headship order. You cannot submit to a boyfriend, because it sounds like she's going to turn him into a spoiled little baby, and then she's going to end up setting herself up for failure, because she's going to get burned.
Yeah.
Once he leaves her, or once he cheats on her, she's going to be like, oh, I was doing all of these things. How could he do this? Because she feels like, if I do all of this, it's going to warrant him wanting to marry me.
Right.
It's going to usher in his sentiments of, or his desire to want to get married and want to be the man that I need him to be. And if he's not that already, that's not going to happen.
You cannot heal a man. You cannot change a man. You cannot will a man to do what you want them to do. They're going to do what they want to do, no matter how many back rubs, backpacks, whatever.
How many lunches you pack them?
It's not going to heal that man.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that she said it, and don't get me wrong, she said something about, that's her way of showing love, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you have to make sure you know who you feel like you're submitting to.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's why I say, when it comes to, you doing that for a boyfriend, that's behavior that should only be for a husband.
yes.
Because
exactly.
for one, he's made that commitment to you. He's made that commitment to you that says, look, I'm all in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm yours and you're mine. It's a reciprocal relationship. It's mutual. So you should not only be doing stuff like that for him, he should be doing that for you.
Hello? You gonna rub my back later?
Man,
I can't lay on my stomach.
I mean, but I get it. I'm all for acts of service. Husbands and wives should serve each other.
Yeah.
But in terms of the way that she's doing it, she didn't say, oh, well, I'm expecting this type of, behavior as well, or this is the type of man that I would do this for. That's your boyfriend.
Yeah.
So I think that she's setting herself up, and, these ideas that she's perpetuating to a lot of young girls out here can be potentially harmful.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
It is harmful, because now these girls are going to grow up, oh, well, she's doing all this for a boyfriend. Let me do all this for a boyfriend. Don't get me wrong. I did all of that for a boyfriend. And guess what that left me? A single mother.
Yeah.
Okay? A single mother. I did it for someone who did not deserve, the acts of wifely duties for a boyfriend. And, that it's a lesson learned for her. Hopefully it's not a lesson learned. Hopefully, she's the one that slipped through the cracks that actually gets the ring and happily ever after. But
she'd be the exception to the rule.
yeah.
And you don't want to dictate your life and your decision making by being the exception to the rule. No one wants to do that.
Right.
So you want to set yourself up for relational success. And I think the best way to do that is by doing things the traditional way that the Bible prescribes.
Hello? Okay.
Which says, and a lot of women out here, I see it all the time, a lot of women honestly don't know what a man that's worth submitting to looks like.
Yeah.
And if I can put it simply to you, a man who's worth submitting to looks like Christ in terms of his character. They come in all different sizes and shapes and colors, but inwardly they look like Christ. They exemplify the characteristics of Christ, because Christ is someone worth submitting to. We serve him as he served us. I serve my wife, she serves me. It's just a continual cycle of loving service. Outside of that, I don't really know what to tell you.
Now you see why I submit to this swing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All praise be to God. All praise, and that's a whole nother theological concept. If we go to Genesis, right?
Oh.
Genesis 3:16. What does it say?
Can we just wait?
No. You're gonna get this right now. Genesis 3:16. What does it say?
Why are you asking me?
This is the curse. This is the curse that God put on the woman. He says, "And because you have done this, I will greatly multiply your pain in childbearing. In pain, you will bring forth children. Your desire shall be for your husband, and he shall rule over you." So there's a continual power struggle between men and women. Women want to continually usurp the authority of the man. However, it's the Holy Spirit that allows women to be able to submit to their husbands.
It was nothing but the Holy Spirit that allowed me to get to this point right now.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
That's part
because
of,
it was rough, but
that's part of the curse. And the Holy Spirit is what allows us to overcome the effects of the curse. The Holy Spirit is what allows me to remain faithful to my wife. So when we trust God and when we enter into a relationship with Jesus Christ and we gain that Holy Spirit as a result of our faith in Him, we can do things His way.
Right. But we're not going to go over. We're not going to talk too long. I think this video is pretty long already. But
it's all good.
That is our take. Let us know what your thoughts and what your, comments or concerns are in the comments below. We love to have a discussion with you. Also, make sure you follow us on all our social media handles so we can stay connected when other current events like this happen. You can always access our take, and we do not mind giving you a YouTube video on that every Monday. Make sure you are subscribed and you hit that notification bell so you never miss another video from us.
Yes. Women, don't submit to your boyfriends. Submit to your husbands.
How?
Peace.
You gotta cut the...
Do I? You do it.
I'm not your slave. Cut the video off.
Go turn that camera off
you
now.
Cut the video
now.
off. No, cut the video off. Make the sacrifice and lean up there and cut it off.